Good evening to all participants. I welcome all of you to day 7 of virtual internship on IoT project development using industry grade microcontroller. There is some ambiguity among few participants about use of PicKit3 programmer. So let me spend few minutes on how to use PicKit3 programmer along with development board or along with your PIC microcontroller. So especially those who have already purchased IoT kit, they are supposed to use PicKit2 or PicKit3 along with this board. So this figure shows PicKit3 connected to PIC development board. So you will see here in this PIC development board, there is one connector given. This connector must be connected to connector of the PicKit3, and there is one-to-one connection between PIC development board and PicKit3. So let me tell you number of pins on the PicKit3 programmer. Before that, on the other side of the PicKit3 programmer, there is USB cable. So this USB cable, other end of the USB cable must be connected to computer. So this goes to USB port of your computer. Total 6 pins are there in the port of PicKit3. One pin should be left floating. It should not be used. Out of 6 pins, use only 5 pins. So I will show you how to connect these pins. On the back side of the PicKit3 programmer, one sticker is pasted. On this sticker, pinout is given. So like here, pin number 1 is VPP, pin number 2 is VDD, pin number 3 is VSS, pin number 4 is PGD, pin number 5 is PGC. This pin number 6 should not be used. You leave it floating. Look at here, I have not connected anywhere. Now, at the time of connection, how to do connections? Meaning of VSS and ground is same. VSS and ground is same. Similarly, VCC and VDD is same. These are just synonyms. VSS and ground meaning is same. VCC and VDD meaning is same. So what you need to do is, you connect this VDD pin to VCC pin on the PIC development board. VDD must be connected to VCC. Next, this VSS must be connected to ground. So you can use here male to female jumper wires. So this must be connected to ground here. Next pin is VPP. This VPP must be connected to MCLR pin. I am using different colors so that you can understand. Pin number 1 is VPP on PicKit3 side. It should be connected to MCLR. Then pin number 4 is PGD. PGD stands for program data. This PGD pin on PIC development board is to be connected to PGD pin on PicKit3. And one pin is left, that is program clock, PGC. PGC pin on PicKit3 is to be connected to PGC pin on PIC development board, like this. And other end of PicKit3 programmer must be connected to computer using USB cable. Without PicKit3 or PicKit2 programmer, we cannot download hex file into PIC microcontroller. Remember. So along with this PIC development board, to download program into this microcontroller IC, you require this PIC-3 or PIC-2 programmer. You can use anyone. Next thing is, you must first of all write your code, generate hex file, and with the help of programmer, I have not connected programmer right now. I already showed you video. So let me once again play that video. In this video, I will demonstrate use of PIC-3 for burning hex file into PIC microcontroller. First of all, let's see connections. On the back side of PIC-3, pins are labeled. This VPP pin of PIC-3 is to be connected to MCLR pin on PIC development board. VDD pin, which is nothing but 5V pin of PIC-3, is to be connected to VCC pin of PIC development board. VSS pin is ground pin. VSS pin of PIC-3 is to be connected to ground pin on PIC development board. PGT stands for program data. PGT pin of PIC-3 is to be connected to PGT pin of PIC development board. And last, PGC. PGC stands for program clock. PGC pin is to be connected to PGC pin of PIC development board. Now we'll generate hex file. So build your project. After successfully building the project, right click on the project name and generate hex file, export hex. I am saving this file with name ADC. Hex file is saved. Now open PIC-3 software. Here device is detected. Device is PIC18A4520. Now let us import hex file. Import. Name of hex file is adc.hex. This file is successfully imported. Now click on write. So status is programming successful. So hex file is successfully burned into PIC microcontroller. Now we can check the program. So this C code is written for analog to digital conversion. So if I rotate this trimmer pot, analog voltage will change and corresponding ADC data will also change. So I hope all of you understood this PIC-3 or PIC-2 along with PIC development board is important. Now today we'll see some other codes. So what I will do is, we have created IoT project yesterday. Same project we will use, and what I am going to do is I am going to add another C file. So if you have already C file written, what you can do is just right click on the source file here, right click and select add existing item. So I am selecting already written C file, that is LED. So this file is added here. If I double click on it here, this file will be open in editor pane. Yesterday we discussed about how to configure the configuration memory and how to get smaller C code through configuration task pane. So I already written here this pragma directives for configuration of configuration memory. So it will remain same for our next few programs. So what we'll do is we'll just copy paste this part in other programs. So hash pragma config OSC is equal to IN2 IO67. We have selected on chip oscillator. Then on chip power of timer, it is disabled here. We can enable, especially when we are using external crystal oscillator. Power of timer must be enabled. Otherwise, at the beginning, there may be issue in the program execution. I have disabled brownout reset. Word of timer is off. Pin number 1 is configured for MCL array operation. Low voltage programming is off. Port B analog feature is disabled. That is on power on reset. Analog pins on the port B are configured for digital input output operation. So PBAD enable is off. Code protection. CPD stands for code protection of EEPROM data memory. It is enabled. So once you enable code protection, nobody can copy content of EEPROM memory. When you enable code protection for program memory is divided into 5 blocks. And for each block, we can enable or disable code protection. So when you enable code protection for all 5 blocks here, nobody can copy code from flash memory. So I have enabled here code protection. There is another way to assign names to the port pins. So with the help of hash defined directive, we can assign name to the port pins. So what I have done here is LED 1. I have connected 4 LEDs to 4 port pins. That is RB0, RB1, RB2, RB3. Let me explain here. Yesterday, in fact, I discussed already. In the peak development board, there are these 4 LEDs. These 4 LEDs with the help of jumper wire. In yesterday's video, I showed you these 4 LEDs with the help of jumper wire. They are connected to RB0, RB1, RB2, and RB3 pins. So like this pin is connected to here with the help of jumper wire. So with the help of jumper wire, this first pin is connected to RB0. This second pin is connected to here. Third pin is connected to RB2 and this fourth pin is connected to RB3 like this. So what I have done is in this program, I have given name to first port pin RB0, that is LED 1. So using hash defined directive, we can assign name to microcontroller port pin. So in later program, instead of accessing pin by RB0 name, we can access it by this LED 1 name. RB1 pin name assigned is LED2. For RB2, name assigned is LED3. RB3 pin name assigned is LED4. For generating delay, there are two options. You can write your own code to generate the delay. And second method is, yesterday I discussed already. In the second method, what you can do is, in the second method, you can use built-in subroutine available for delay generation. And this subroutine is double underscore delay underscore ms. ms stands for delay in millisecond. So in the argument, if you pass 1000, delay will be 1000 millisecond. In the argument, if you pass 10, delay will be 10 millisecond and so on. In order to use this built-in subroutine, it is also called macro. You need to define one variable, and this variable is underscore XTL underscore FREQ. And after that, you type oscillator frequency. If oscillator frequency is 4 megahertz, then you write 4 megahertz. So frequency is to be entered here in hertz. So after 4, there are 6 digits. That means frequency is 4 megahertz. And you must use defined directive. So hash define underscore XTL underscore FREQ. If you are using clock frequency of 8 megahertz, then it must be entered here 8 megahertz and so on. So oscillator frequency must be entered after XTL underscore FREQ. So another method of generating delay is by user defined function. So what you can do is you can make use of for loops. You can make use of either one for loop or for loop inside another for loop. So I have used here two different for loops for generation of delay. I am not returning anything. So void delay ms and argument is integer x. Whenever you write any user defined function, its prototype must be declared outside the main. So after including the header file xc.h, we must configure configuration memory. After that, you can use hash define directive if you want to assign some unique names to the port pins, or if you want to define some constant. After that, you declare function prototype. So function prototype is declared here, void delay ms integer. So delay ms name is given by me. It is user defined name. It can be any name. But however, when you write any function, give easy to remember name to the function so that you can recall what is the purpose of that function. So whenever I read this function, I can easily recall that this function is written to generate delay and argument is integer type. So you can write this function anywhere in the program. However, it should be outside the main program. So this function is written here, void delay ms integer x. I have once again generated two more variables, integer type of variables. If you do not type here unsigned, see integer of two types, signed integer and unsigned integer. If you type unsigned integer, it will be accepted as unsigned integer. And if you do not type unsigned before int, then by default, this I and j will be unsigned integer. Remember, I have not explicitly written here unsigned. So whether you write unsigned before int or not, integers created are of unsigned type. There will not be signed type. After that, I have set up first for loop. In the syntax of the for loop, all of you already aware that you must initialize the counter variable here, that is I. Then there is condition. This x is used here for condition. This for loop will be continued as long as this I is less than x. And then increment. How do we want to increment this counter variable of the for loop? I plus plus, you can also go for I minus. However, if you go for I minus minus, this initialized value should be greater than 0. For example, if you put here I is equal to 100, then you can go here for I minus minus, and this condition must be different. Then inside this for loop, there is one more for loop, and here I am using this variable j. So j is initialized to 0, then j is less than 160 colon j plus plus. So by controlling this number j less than 160 or this x, this for loops will be continued. So once this condition is satisfied, once as long as condition j less than 160 is satisfied, this for loop will be continued. And once it becomes false, it will come out of the for loop. So here there is one for loop inside the another for loop. So with this we can generate required delay. However, you cannot directly measure how much delay you can generate. So there is then trial and error approach. So using trial and error approach, you can calculate how much delay we get for a given x value. Now what I have done in this program, remaining part of the program is same to yesterday's program. OSC count register is loaded with 0xEF to define 4 MHz on-chip oscillation frequency. After that, ADCON1 register is loaded with 0x07 in order to make all port pins digital. Total 13 analog channels are available in PIC microcontroller, and we don't want any channel to be analog. So to make all channels digital, ADCON1 register must be loaded with 0x07. So this part I have discussed yesterday. TRIS B. As we are connecting LEDs to the microcontroller port B must be output port. And to make the port B output port, your TRIS B must be loaded with 0x00. And initially, I am making port B equal to 0. So all port pins will become 00 on port B. After that, create never ending while loop. So while 1. And inside this never ending while loop, you make your LEDs on and off through microcontroller port B. See, at the beginning, I have given names to the RB0, RB1, RB2, RB3 pins. RB0, LED1, RB1, LED2, and so on. So what I have done here is LED1 equal to 1, LED2 equal to 1, like this. So here I am accessing single pin of the microcontroller. So here LED1 equal to 1 is bit addressable instruction. Whereas port B is equal to 0x00. We are modifying 8 bits altogether. So port B is equal to 0x00 is byte addressable instruction, whereas LED1 equal to 1 is bit addressable instruction. So I have applied logic 1 to all 4 LEDs. After that, I have added delay. In my delay subroutine, when my argument is 500, I get delay of 1 second. So I have added here 1 second delay. After 1 second delay, all 4 LEDs are made 0. Here LED1 is nothing but RB0 pin of the microcontroller. LED2 is nothing but RB1 pin of the microcontroller, and so on. So through this program, we can blink 4 LEDs connected on port B. Video is already shown to you. Now, and one more thing, we have written here this subroutine to generate delay MS. So this subroutine is called from the main program. Look at here. This is our main program. From main program, we are calling this subroutine. So once this subroutine is executed, program comes back to main program and then start execution with this instruction, LED1 is equal to 0. So whenever any function is called through the main program, return address is saved on the stack memory. It happens automatically. Whenever you compile the code, generate the hex file, compiler automatically takes care of all these operations. Now instead of LED1, we can directly write here RB0. You will get same result. There are multiple ways to access individual port pins of the microcontroller. RB0, RB1, RB2, RB3. Same result we will get. There are multiple ways to access individual pin of microcontroller. This is one method. So RB0 is equal to 1 and here we must write now 0. You can compile the code. Click on the build icon here, build project. So build is successful. Hex file is already created and it is saved in default location. However, you can again generate another hex file if you don't want to retrieve hex file from the default location. So what you can do is click on your project name here, right click on it. One menu will pop up, select export hex. So you can save this hex file anywhere where you want to save. So I am saving it on the, for example, D drive, LED hex, it is already there. So I am overwriting. So your hex file is saved. What I have done here is RB0 is single pin on port B. RB1 is again single pin. So these are individual pins. Another way to access individual port pins or individual bits of any SFR is write name of the port. For example, here port B. Port B bits. Bits must be in lowercase. Dot RB0. This is another way. This is another way to modify individual bits of any port or individual bits of any SFR. Name of the SFR is here port B, and these bits must be written in lowercase. Dot individual field name of the SFR, that is RB0. In port B, bits are RB0, RB1, RB2, RB3. Let me write. In port B, total 8 bits are there. So what are the 8 bits of port B are RB0, RB1, RB2, RB3, RB4, RB5, RB6 and RB7. Total 8 fields are there in port B register. So name of the register is port B. So we can modify individual bit in this port B. Port B is here SFR. This is another method. You can use any method to set or clear individual bits in the port B register. This is third method I am telling you. You can assign name to the port pins through defined directive. You can directly make use of field name like RB0, RB1, RB2, and another method is name of the SFR. Name of the SFR here is port B. Let me highlight. SFR name is port B, and after that I am writing bits in lowercase dot RB0. So this is another method to set or clear bits of individual bits of the any SFR. So this instruction is bit addressable. All these instructions I have written are bit addressable, whereas this addcon1 is equal to 0x07, it is byte addressable. TRISB is equal to 0x00, byte addressable, and so on. So instruction can be bit addressable, it can be byte addressable. So as per requirement, use either bit addressable or byte addressable. So advantage of bit addressable instruction is without modifying other bits, we can modify only one particular bit in a given SFR. That is the advantage of bit addressable instructions. Next, we'll see how to write C code for LCD, 16:2 LCD display. Before I discuss LCD display, I would like to discuss string pointer. For LCD interfacing, string pointer is must. Otherwise, your code becomes very lengthy, and you will find it cumbersome to write the code for LCD interfacing. So knowledge of string pointer is important for writing the program for LCD interfacing. So string is always terminated in null character. So example of string is shown here. How to create the string? To create the string, you enclose your characters under double quote. So here under double quote you will see microchip. So string character can be anything. It can be alphabets, it can be number as well. So string can be made up of alphabets and numbers. String must be enclosed in double quote. So whenever you enclose characters under double quote, it becomes string. Usually string is saved in flash memory. And to access individual variables in a given string, we require pointer. Without pointer also we can do, but that is cumbersome. To create the pointer, same rule you can use in embedded C programming. In C programming, what we do, we use asterisk before pointer name. So same rule is used to create pointer variable. Pointers are of type character, integer, long type. So depending upon type of your string, you must create appropriate pointer type. Like here, type of the pointer is character type. It can be integer type. we should specify pointer type because, for example, if string is made up of characters, then each character requires 8 bits for storage. That is, each character requires one byte. So when we increment the pointer, pointer will be incremented by 1 for character type of data. Just a minute. Shubham, please connect battery. Laptop battery. So for each character in character type of array, 1 byte is required for data storage. If it is integer type of string, then each character in the integer type of string requires 2 bytes for storage. So for integer type of string, pointer will be incremented by 2. This is the difference between character type of string and integer type of string. So when initialize, a pointer to a string points to the first character. So example is shown here, char asterisk str. So here str is preceded by asterisk symbol. So this asterisk makes this str as a pointer variable. So str here is pointer variable, and pointer variable is always saved in SRAM of the microcontroller. It is not saved in flash memory. So it is always saved in SRAM. So whenever we initialize any pointer, it always points to the first character in the string. So here first character is M. So str is pointing to the first character, which is M. We can access any character in a given string by adding offset. So for example, str plus 4, it will count to the 5th character because characters are counted with 0. M is 0th character, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4th character in the string is O. So when you add offset 4 into the str pointer, it will point to the 5th character. If you count characters from 0, then it will be 4th character. Each and every string is terminated in null character. So at the end of the string, you will see there is /0. This /0 indicates null character. Null characters are used to detect end of the string. You need not append string with null character. So when code is compiled, compiler automatically append each and every string with null character. So user need not write null character at the end of the string. It is the duty of compiler to append the string with null character. So null character is automatically appended by compiler. So using this char stars str is equal to microchip, what we have done is we have created a pointer with name str, and it points to the first character in the string, and first character is M. So we can increment or decrement pointer, or you can add offset. So in character type of string, this when you increment the pointer, it is incremented by 1, and in integer type of string, when you increment the string pointer, it will get incremented by 2. So in our case, we are going to make use of character type of string. One example is given, passing pointers to function. One example is given here. Here function is putS. PutS is user defined function, and its prototype is declared here. I have not shown here configuration directives. Hash pragma directive is not shown here. Assume that it is there in the code. My focus here is to explain how to pass pointer to the function. So here function name is putS. It is not returning anything. So void putS char star p. So here p is pointer. Then here there is main program, void main void, and from the main program, I am calling this function putS. So putS argument is string here. Under double quote, microchip is great. So what happens here is that when this function is called from the main program, we are not passing the string. The reason is we are not passing the string. What is happening here is when this function is being called from the main program, look at this function here, how it is defined. Outside the main function, this void putS function is written, and in the argument part of this function here, put yes char star p. What happens here is that we have declared pointer here in the parameter of this function. So as pointer is declared here, when this function is being called from the main program, what happens is that pointer is assigned to this string. So this pointer receives first address of the string microchip is great. So address first character here, first character is m. So this string will be saved somewhere in the flash memory by compiler. So when this function is called, what happens is that it passes address of the first character in the string to this putS function. So putS function, what when this function is executed, what happens is that it receives address of the first character in the string, and that address is used for accessing individual characters. Now inside this function, again you will see there is while loop. This while loop will be executed until null character is encountered in the string. So at the end of the string there is null character. So this while loop is continued as long as there is no null character. So when this pointer points to the null character, this while loop gets terminated. So advantage of passing pointer is we can pass a string having any number of characters, and this number of characters can be variable, and same function we can use for different strings. So when we use this type of pointer here, the advantage is number of characters in the string can be random. Now inside the while loop, which function is used here? Printf. And in this printf function, we require individual characters. So these individual characters, at a time one character is accessed. So for example, during first iteration of the while loop, your pointer p is pointing to the first character, that is m. So this star p, what happens is that with this instruction to the printf function, we pass first character m. So m is passed to the printf function and it will be printed. After that, what is done? This pointer is incremented by 1, p plus plus. So pointer is incremented by 1. During second iteration of the while loop, now this pointer is pointing to the second character in the string, that is microchip is great. There is second character. Now when this printf function is called from here, this second character is I. So this ASCII I is passed to the printf function. Again, this pointer is incremented by 1. Now this pointer is pointing to the third character C in the string. Microchip is great. There is third character C. So each and every character will be displayed, and at the end of the string, there is null character. So as soon as this null character is detected in the while loop, this while loop gets terminated, and then program goes back to main function here, main program. We'll discuss this program in detail in our MPLAB X IDE. So before that, let me quickly discuss number of pins in 16:2 LCD display. So each character in 16:2 LCD display is displayed in 5:7 pixel matrix. You will see here different blocks you will see here. In first row we can write 16 characters, and in second row we can write total 16 characters. Each character is displayed using 5:7 pixel matrix. So character is made up of number of dots. You will see in this portion there are 7 rows and 5 columns. What is written here is 5:7 pixel matrix. So in this block total there are 35 dots. So characters are made up of using these dots. So this dot is called here pixel. So in first row we can display total 16 characters, and in second row 16 characters. So you can display any message with the help of characters. So there are two rows as indicated here in 16:2 display. There are two rows, and in each row there are 16 characters. There are some displays where you will have 20:2 display. In 20:2 display, there will be 20 characters in first row, 20 characters in second row. Likewise, 16:4 display is also available. 16 characters in 4 rows. So according to your requirement, you select the display. Then pin out of the 16:2 LCD display. Total 16 pins are there. First two pins are ground and VCC. Third pin is contrast pin. In all my products, what I do is, wherever I am using LCD display, I do not use trimmer pot for adjustment of contrast. I already found out optimum value of resistance to get the optimum contrast. So you must connect 2.2K resistor in between ground and VCC. Ground and contrast pin. So if you connect your resistor of value 2.2K, you will get optimum contrast. So 2.2K resistor must be connected in between contrast pin and ground. So ground pin is here. Another pin is RS. RS stands for resistor select. RS means register select. In LCD display, there are two types of registers: command registers, data registers. 16:2 LCD display. So this display has two types of registers: command registers and data registers. Now to access command registers, so for command register, RS pin must be 0, and for data registers, RS pin must be 1. So through microcontroller program, you can select either command register or data register depending upon your requirement. Now what is the purpose of command register? As name indicates, there are commands used for clearing the data on the LCD display, for configuration of the LCD display, and in data register, data to be displayed is saved. So while giving commands to the command register, you must write to the command registers by making RS pin 0, and while writing your data to be displayed, you must make RS pin equal to 1. So this RS pin you can make 0 or 1 through microcontroller program. So two registers are there in LCD display: command registers and data registers. To access command registers, RS pin must be 0, and to access data registers, RS pin must be 1. So this is about RS pin. RS pin stands for register select pin. Next pin is RW pin. This RW pin stands for read write pin. If you want to write data to the command or data registers, read write pin must be 0. And if you want to read data from the LCD display, read write pin must be 1. In all my products, I am not using read mode. So what I do is, I directly connect read write pin to the ground, because in none of my product I read data from the LCD display. Huh? Is okay. So this read write pin, I am connecting it to the ground directly. So RW pin connected to the ground, that is logic 0. That means once you connect permanently RW pin to the ground, you cannot read data from the LCD display, and it is not required. Next is enable pin. EN stands for enable. What is purpose of enable pin? EN stands for enable pin. So when you create pulse on the enable pin, when you create small pulse, you need to create small pulse. When you create small pulse on the enable pin, data on the data pins of the LCD display, there are total 8 pins here. D0 to D7, total 8 data pins are there. These data pins are connected to port pins of the microcontroller. So microcontroller will transmit data on these data pins. So this data could be actual data or it can be commands. So whenever pulse is applied on the enable pin, data available on this D0 to D7 pin is latched inside data registers or command registers depending upon logic level on the RS pin. If RS pin is 0, if RS pin is 0, then command register is selected for writing the data. And when RS pin is 1, data registers are selected for writing the data. So in LCD display, there are two types of registers, data registers and command registers. Data to be displayed is saved in data memory. And purpose of command is to configure the LCD display, is to clear the data on the LCD display, put the cursor at appropriate positions. So with the help of commands, we can do these operations. So for either writing command or data, pulse must be applied on the enable pin. And whenever you apply the pulse on the enable pin, data on these data pins, it's latched inside the command register if RS pin is 0, and it is latched in data register if RS pin is 1. This is the back side of the LCD display. You will see here this black portion. So inside this black portion, there is integrated circuit. So this is called COB. COB. COB stands for chip on board. Chip on board. So COB chips are least expensive as compared with other type of chips. Now we'll see LCD commands. So let us summarize 16:2 LCD display. It has data registers and command registers. Commands are saved in command register. Commands are used to initialize, delete characters, select line and column number for writing characters, etc. Character to be displayed must be written to data register in ASCII format. Remember, whatever message you want to display, each and every character in that message must be in ASCII format. Your characters must be in ASCII format. Commands can be in hex format, but each and every character which you want to write on the LCD display, it must be in ASCII format. RW pin. RW stands for read write pin. RS stands for register select. So with the help of RS pin, we can select either data or command registers. Enable pin. For write or read operation, pulse must be applied. Enable, by applying pulse on the enable pin, we can do either read or write operation. But as I already mentioned, RW pin, we are permanently connecting to logic 0. That means we are performing only write operations. So for writing data to the LCD, RW pin must be 0, first condition. For writing data to LCD, RW pin must be 0. For reading data, RW pin must be 1. For writing command, RW pin, as we are performing writing operation, RW must be 0. RS pin must be 0 and then apply pulse on enable pin. Then data on the data pins of the LCD display will be written to command register. Next, how to write data to the LCD display. To write data to the LCD display, make RW pin 0, make RS pin 1, apply pulse on the enable pin. So when here RW is 0, RS is 1, when I apply pulse on the enable pin, data on the pins of the LCD display will be written to the data registers. So for LCD, there are two different types of data transmission modes, 4-bit mode and 8-bit mode. In 8-bit mode, at a time we write 8 bits to the command and data registers. Whereas in 4-bit mode, we write 4 bit at a time. Advantage of 4-bit mode is we require less number of pins. In 4-bit mode, only D4, D5, D6, D7 pins are used. 16:2 LCD display has two different modes of operation. Two modes of operation. First mode is 8-bit mode and second mode is 4-bit mode. Advantage of 4-bit mode is we require less number of pins. So entire data can be transmitted through four pins of the microcontroller, 4 pins of the LCD display, and we require less number of microcontroller pins. So what is done? 8-bit data is divided into nibbles, group of 4 bits, and this group of 4 bits are at a time transmitted to the LCD display. The disadvantage of 4-bit mode is you need to write commands and data 2 times because at a time we are transmitting 4 bits. So that is the limitation. Then remaining 2 pins are left, that is backlight plus and backlight minus. In this LCD display, there is backend LED. So if you want to switch on that LED, this positive and negative pins are given. That is anode and cathode of that LED. These LCD displays are available in 3 different colors: green backlight, orange backlight, and blue backlight. Now we'll see commands. (16:2) LCD commands. These commands we can give to the LCD display using our program. So after discussing the command, we'll see how to write the code. So first command is 0x01. When you issue this command to the LCD display, all the characters on the LCD display will be cleared. Screen will be cleared. All data will be deleted. Second command is 0x30. If you want to use only first line of the LCD display, then give this command. Meaning of this command is function set 8-bit, one line. So only first line of the LCD display will be used. 0x38, 8-bit, 2 line. And each character will be made up of 5 by 7 dots. So we'll use this 8-bit mode. 4-bit mode I will discuss later on. And we'll use both lines. So 8-bit, 2 line. Next command is 0x20. It is used for 4-bit mode. As I already said, there are two modes, 8-bit mode and 4-bit mode. Again, in 4-bit mode, if you want to use first row or both rows, depending upon that, you give the command. So for 0x20 command, display is configured for 4-bit operation with one line active. Only first row will be used. And with 0x28, it is 4-bit mode with 2 lines. 0x0 is entry mode, auto increment mode. So whenever you write any character, automatically cursor will be incremented to next position. So next character return will be returned to the next position in the LCD display. 0x08. If you issue this command, display will be switched off and cursor will be also switched off. 0x0e, display on, cursor on. 0x0c, display on, cursor off. So whether you want to keep the cursor on, that you can decide with the help of these commands. 0x0f, display on but cursor is blinking. So cursor will be made on and off if you issue command 0x0f. The 0x18 and 0x1c, these two commands are used for rolling message. If you want to roll the message from left side to right side and right side to left side, then you can use this command 0x18 and 0x1c. So these commands are used for rolling the message. 0x10, this command is used for moving the cursor left by one character. 0x80, if you issue this command, cursor will be placed at first character of the first row. So if you want to write first character at first row, you must first of all issue this command and then you write the data. So after issuing 0x80 command, your character will be written at first position of the first row. And when you issue command 0x30, your character will be written at first position of second row. So 0x80, look at the address here. If you give command 0x80, so after giving this command, if you write the data to the LCD display, it will be written to this position. If your command is 0x81, if your command is 0x81, after writing this command, if you write the data, that data will be written to this second position of the first row. And if your command is 0x8f, subsequent return data will be written to last position of the first row. So basically this command starting with 8 indicates where you want to write the data. So it is pointing to the columns of the first row. And if your command is 0x30, after giving this command, if you write the data, it will be written to first position of the second row. And address of this last character here is 0xcf. So with the help of command, you can select any column of any row for writing the characters. Characters must be in ASCII format. Once again, I repeat, all characters must be in ASCII format. A 4-bit mode of the LCD will discuss later. Now we will quickly discuss 8-bit mode of the 8-bit mode of the LCD display with the help of program. So include header file xc.h, it is common. Configuration bits are again common here. So hash pragma config osc, it will remain as it is. Now what I have done is here, I have used here hash defined directive. And with the help of this directive, I have given name to this RC2 port pin. This RC2 port pin is connected to enable pin of the LCD display. Just now I explained. On LCD display, there is enable pin. So what I have done is, this enable pin I have connected to RC2 pin. RC2 pin of microcontroller. RW pin is grounded. So it is connected to ground. And RS pin is connected to RC1 pin. RS pin is connected to RC1 pin. And all these data pins, D0 to D7, these pins are connected to port D. All these pins are connected to port D. So what I have done, I have assigned name to the RC2 pin, and easy to remember name I have given. As RC2 pin is connected to enable pin of the LCD display, I have given name EN. EN stands for enable pin. RC1 pin is connected to register select pin of the LCD display. Therefore, here name given is RS. And I have used here this bit addressable instruction, port C bits dot RC2. So port C is the name of SFR, and for bit addressable instruction, as I already mentioned, you type bits in lowercase dot name of that port pin. Name of the port pin here is RC2. So we have given names enable and RS to RC2 and RC1 respectively. After that, declare function prototypes. So how many functions are here? 6 functions are here. So all these functions are user defined functions. So user functions, prototype of the user functions must be declared at the beginning. So why delay ms? It is used to generate delay. SM delay. SM stands for small delay. Again, it is user defined function. So both functions are user defined. Using delay ms, we generate larger amount of time delay, and using SM delay, we generate smaller amount of time delay. Another is LCD string. This function receives address of the string and displays one character at a time. Then we have LCD initialization function, LCD CMD function. Using LCD CMD function, we pass commands to the LCD display, and using LCD data function, we pass data characters to the LCD display. So at a time, one character is returned to the data memory. So purpose of LCD CMD means LCD command, LCD data. So using LCD CMD, we write command to the LCD display, and using LCD data, we write data to the LCD display. Now let us understand how to write these functions. So delay MS function I have already discussed. Using two for loops, one for loop inside another for loop, we can generate delay, and overall delay is controlled by this x, and the x value we pass from the main program or from another function. So depending upon value of this x, we get required time delay. So for larger x, we get larger time delay. If you compare this delay MS and SM delay, you will see the difference. In delay MS, inside second for loop, our conditional limit is 160, whereas in SM delay, conditional limit is 3. So therefore, in delay MS function, we get larger delay because here number is 160. And in SM delay, program is similar but differs here. So this value is 3. So using SM delay function, we get smaller time delay. Now we will understand LCD CMD function. It is very simple function. LCD CMD. It receives data from the calling function. So I may call this function from another function. And what it receives is data. And this data is nothing but here command. If you don't want any kind of confusion, I will write here command. So I have written here command. So received command is saved in port D. So on the port D, there is command saved. Now for writing command to the command register of the LCD display, your RS pin must be 0. So RS pin is clear to 0. After that, add small amount of delay, because whenever you make changes to the port pin, usually we connect display through wires to the microcontroller port pin. And whenever there is change in data, there is steady state response and transient response. So whenever you make changes, use small amount of delay so that data gets settled down on the port pin. So that is the purpose of adding small delay here. After that, apply pulse on the enable pin. And to create the pulse, what you do is, you make this enable pin 1, add small delay and make it 0. So with these 3 instructions, what we do is, we generate small pulse on the enable pin. And at the beginning of the program, outside, this enable pin must be clear to 0. Otherwise, it will be continuously on. So let me make this enable pin 0 at the beginning here. So LCD CMD function. So as our data pins are connected to port D, this command is saved in port D. RS is 0. With the help of these 3 instructions, pulse is created on the enable pin of the display, so that command which is saved in port D gets latched inside the command registers of the LCD display. Then LCD data function. Remember, LCD CMD function writes 1 byte at a time. It cannot write string of characters. So from other function, we must call this function as many times as we want. Another function is LCD data. LCD data and LCD CMD functions are exactly same. Only difference is, in LCD command function, RS is 0. And in LCD data function, RS is 1. This is the only difference. Both functions are same except RS pin. So while writing data to the data registers on chip LCD display, this RS pin must be set to logic 1. Received data, it is 8-bit data. Unsigned carry here, look at here, void LCD data unsigned char. This data is returned to the port D. RS pin is set to 1, delay is added, and again pulse is created on the enable pin with the help of this EN1, SM delay and EN0 instruction. So once this pulse is created on the enable pin of the LCD display, data on the port D will be returned to the data register depending upon where cursor on the LCD display is pointing. Then LCD initialization commands. In the PowerPoint presentation, I already discussed some of the important commands. So LCD CMD 0x01. 0x01 command is used to clear the display. So at the beginning, there may be some garbage data in the LCD display. So as soon as you power on the LCD display, it must be cleared. So using LCD CMD, we can clear entire LCD display screen. For clearing operations, slightly larger delay is required. You just go through the datasheet of the LCD display. For other commands, less time is required, but for clearing the display, slightly more time is required. It is around 100 milliseconds. So after that, you add delay. Next, LCD CMD 0x38. 8-bit mode, 2 lines. So command is 0x38. 0x0e. What is meaning of 0x0e? 0x0e, display on, cursor on. So this command is given. So whenever I call this LCD CMD function from LCD initialization function. So LCD INIT stands for LCD initialization. So from this function I am calling this LCD CMD function. So what happens here is that I am passing this command 0x01 and it will be received in command variable here. It is unsigned character type. And this data received in command variable will be saved in port D. So this is what happens here. Likewise, other commands are given from the data table. And with the help of LCD CMD 0x80, cursor is placed at first position, first row. So after executing LCD initialization function, if I write message, first character in the message will be returned to first position, first row. Now understand this function, LCD string function. I already discussed how to pass address of the string to the pointer in function. So what I have done is this LCD string function is not returning any value. So return value is void. LCD string is name given to this function. Why it is given name? Because using this function, we can display string on the LCD display. Here parameter is unsigned char star yes. So yes is pointer. Here yes is pointer. Now from the main program, what I am going to do is, from the main program, I am calling this LCD string. And what I am passing here, ATC welcomes you. So when I call LCD string function with LCD with string as argument, here ATC welcomes you. It is inside double quote. So whenever you put characters inside double quote, it becomes ASCII character string. It becomes ASCII character string. So this is argument to this function. But here, when I am writing this function in the parameter here, argument parameter here, I am declaring pointer. So what happens is that when this function is called from the main program with message, then this pointer receives address of the first character. What is address here? Address of the, sorry, yeah, here first character is A. So address of the first character will be passed to this pointer. So pointer yes receives address of the first character, because this string ATC welcome you, it will be saved in flash memory somewhere. So at the time of compilation, compiler decides where to save the messages. So when LCD string is this function is called from the main program with string as argument, here we use pointer as a parameter here. So this pointer, string pointer, receives address of the first character. Now in while loop, when we use pointer this way, what happens is that at a time we get one character, and this character is pointed by the string pointer yes. So star yes means it will get ASCII character A, because this pointer is pointing to the at the beginning first character in the string. So our string is ATC welcomes you, and in ATC welcomes you first character is capital A. So while A, so A is not a null character. A is not a null character. So while loop will start, program inside the while loop will start execution, because pointer is pointing to the first character in the string and it is not null character. So while loop will be continued till null character is encountered. So inside the while loop we are calling LCD data function, and through LCD data function we can write only one byte at a time to the LCD display. And to the LCD data, what is our argument? Character pointed by pointer yes. Meaning of star yes is argument is character pointed by pointer yes, and pointer yes is pointing first character, that is capital A, and capital A is in ASCII format. So ASCII A, I repeat, ASCII A is argument to the LCD data function. So LCD data function is called from here, and which character we are passing? ASCII A, because in ATC welcomes you first character is ASCII A. So from here we are calling LCD data function. Program will jump to this function here. So this data, so this data will receive ASCII A, and this ASCII A is saved in port D, and then this ASCII is returned to the LCD display. So after execution of LCD data function, it will come back to this, it will come back here, and after execution of this function we are incrementing pointer by 1, s plus plus. So pointer is incremented by 1. Now pointer is pointing to the second character in the message. What is our second character? Second character is capital T. Second character is here capital T. So second character is passed to the LCD data function. LCD data function will write it to the data memory of the LCD display. After that it will come back here. Then pointer is incremented again, s plus plus, pointer is incremented by 1. Now pointer will point to the third character. So likewise all characters will be displayed, and surely this pointer will point to the last character in the string, which is nothing but null character. So when null character is argument for this while loop here, it will be terminated. So while loop will be continued till there is no null character. So the moment null character is detected in the string, while loop will be terminated. So once while loop is terminated, program will come out of this LCD string function, and it will go back to main program here. And after this function, we are not doing any operation. I am putting program in indefinite while loop. So this is how we can write LCD interfacing program. Okay. So this is LCD interfacing program. What is time? Protest simulation of LCD interfacing program we'll discuss tomorrow. What I will do is I will spend few minutes on 4-bit mode. In 4-bit mode of LCD display, these are the relevant commands. Once again, let me take important commands from here. 4-bit mode, 2 lines. So what is the command 0x28? It is there in this table, 0x28. The 0x02 command is required to tell LCD display processor that LCD will be configured in 4-bit mode, And in 4-bit mode, what is done? 8-bit data is divided into group of 4 characters. Group of 4 bit is called nibble. So 8-bit characters will be divided into upper nibble and lower nibble. So nibble is group of 4 bits. Nibble is group of 4 bits. For example, if command is 0x80, suppose LCD command. LCD command is 0x80. If I write 0x80 in binary form, this will be 100 and 0000. So this is called upper nibble. Upper nibble. And this is called lower nibble. Now in 4-bit mode of LCD display, what is done? You write upper nibble first, followed by lower nibble. So whether you are writing command or data, it must be divided into upper nibble and lower nibble. So write upper nibble followed by lower nibble. So different commands as compared with 8-bit mode are 0x02 and 0x28. So these two commands are different. Remaining commands are similar to 8-bit mode. Now in 4-bit mode, 4 pins of the LCD display are not used. Let me tell you. In 4-bit mode of operation, this D0, D1, D2 and D3, these 4 pins are not used and they are not connected to any port pin of the microcontroller. Whereas D4, D5, D6, D7, these 4 pins are used. As I already mentioned, advantage of 4-bit mode is we require 4 less pins of the microcontroller. So 8-bit data we are transmitting on 4-bit bus. The drawback is in 4-bit mode of operation, we need to divide 8 bits into group of 2 nibbles, upper nibble, lower nibble, and at a time we can write only 4 bits. So write upper nibble first, followed by lower nibble. Now let me open code of 4-bit mode of LCD. First instruction is include #include_exe.h, then #pragma for configuration memory, same as it is. Then define names for RC2, RC1 pin. RC2 is connected to enable pin, RC1 is connected to RS pin. Then declare prototype of the functions. LCD string function is exactly similar to 8-bit mode. There is no change. LCD initialization function. Internal commands are different. LCD CMD, LCD data, and 2 more functions are created here. LCD CMD1, LCD data 1. Let us understand. So LCD string function is exactly same. There is no change. Delay mesh exactly same. SM delay exactly same. Now in LCD CMD1, what is done? Incoming 8-bit data. This LCD CMD function receives 4 bits, and these 4 bits are returned to the 4 port pins of the PIC microcontroller, that is RD7, RD6, RD5, RD4. So 4 pins of the port D are used for data transmission. So in 4-bit mode of operation, we must write only 4 bits at a time, and those 4 bits are returned to the upper 4 bits of the port D, that is RD7, RD6, RD5, RD4. The purpose of shifting I will discuss later. Why we need to shift this? Then another function is LCD data 1. Here also same thing is done. 4 bits at a time are received. Actually in data we receive 8 bits, but with the help of this ANDing operation we can mask remaining 4 bits, and then this writes data to the 4 pins of the LCD display. Now what I am doing is, in LCD CMD function, it is not similar to LCD CMD function that we have seen for 8-bit mode. So this function is different here. What is done here? LCD CMD function receives command. This command is received from the main program. So main program calls this. So in LCD CMD function, this 8-bit command is received, and then it is divided into lower nibble and upper nibble. So I have declared here 2 character type of variables: unsigned character, lower nibble, higher nibble, and they are initially assigned 0 value. So we have here 2 user defined variables created, lower nibble and higher nibble, and they are unsigned character type, 8-bit types. Now next instruction is lower nibble is equal to value and 0x0f. So we have performed here bitwise ANDing. So bitwise ANDing is done, and what we have done is 0x0f. 8-bit data is received in this value. This value is bitwise ANDed with 0x0f. So what happens is that upper 4 bits in this value get marks. You know that ANDing of 0 with 0 is logic 0. ANDing of 1 with 1 is logic 1. And ANDing of 0 with 1 is 0. So what happens is that with this ANDing operation, we keep only lower 4 bits, and upper 4 bits we make 0. Then for higher nibble, what we do is, for higher nibble, our ANDing is with 0x f0. So what we do is, to get higher nibble, we mask lower 4 bits of the value variable. So value is here variable. So what we do is, we perform ANDing of value with 0x f0, and we remove lower 4 bits in the operation. So that ANDed result is saved in higher nibble, and for upper instruction, ANDed result is saved in lower nibble. So difference is here, for lower nibble ANDing is done with 0x0f, and for higher nibble ANDing is done with 0x f0. So with this instruction, what we do is, in lower nibble we mask upper 4 bits, and with second instruction we mask lower 4 bits in the value, and that ANDed results are saved in lower nibble and higher nibble. Now we need to shift this higher nibble 4 times towards right hand side. The purpose is, when we write data to the 4 bits of the microcontroller port D, this nibble must be shifted, because we want to write data on RD7, RD6, RD5 and RD4 pin. So if we do not shift the data, what will happen is that, let me explain quickly here. I will take 5 minutes more. Suppose our command is 80, 0x80. So it is divided into upper nibble, lower nibble. Fine. As our last 4 bits are 00 here, let me take another command. I will take command 0x83. Our command is 0x83. So last 4 bits are 0011. So our lower nibble is 0011 and upper nibble is 1000. Now when we do this ANDing operation, our value, let me go back to our program. Here this value in this command, value will be 0x83. Value is 0x83. Here value is variable and its value is 0x83. Now next what we do is, this lower nibble is equal to value and 0x0f. Lower nibble is equal to ending of value with 0x 0f. This is our instruction, and this value contains 0x83. Now what happens here is that there is bitwise ending. So in value, what is our binary data? 10000011, ending with 0x0f. If you write the 0x0f in binary, it will be 4 zeros followed by 4 ones. This single ampersand indicates bitwise ending. So this first bit of the value and first bit of the 0x0f, it will be ended. So ending of this 1 and ending of this 0, what is the result? Result is 0. Then ending of this 0, ending of this 0 here, and ending of this 0, result is 0. Then ending of this 0 and ending of this 0 here, that is third bit from left hand side and third bit from left hand side here, bitwise ending 0 0. Then ending of this 0 from, that is fourth bit from left hand side, and this bit here, this 0, result is 0. Now ending of last 4 bits, ending of this 0 and ending of this 1, what we get here? We get 0. Then ending of this 0 and ending of this 1, result is 0. Then ending of this second last one and second last one here, result is 1. Ending of 1 1 1 1. So ultimately what happened here is that these upper 4 bits are clear to 0, and remaining 4 bits indicate this hexadecimal 8 here. Sorry, last hexadecimal 3. So what is the result of ending here? Result of ending is 0x03. That is, upper 4 bits are masked here. Mask means removed, and lower 4 bits are written after ending operation. So this lower nibble is saved in lower nibble variable. After that, in program, what is done? Higher nibble is equal to value bitwise ended with 0xf0. So with this instruction, what will happen is that after execution of this instruction, higher nibble will be equal to 0x80. So what is done? In the second ending operation, we have removed these 3. So basically what we have done is, we have separated out digits in this value. Digit 8 is separated, digit 3 is separated. So that is the purpose of these two instructions. Lower nibble is equal to value ended with 0x0f. Higher nibble is equal to value ended with 0xf0. Now while transmitting this data to LCD CMD1 function, this higher nibble must be shifted towards right hand side by 4 bits. The reason is, we are writing nibble to fix 4 port pins of the microcontroller, RD7, RD6, RD5, RD4. So it must be shifted. Although we have separated the nibbles, but remember, they are again in 8 bits. Lower nibble has value 0x03, and upper nibble, that is higher nibble, 0x80. So when you shift higher nibble 4 times towards right hand side, 4 times, it will become 0x08, and then we'll pass this higher nibble to the LCD CMD1 function, where it will be actually returned to the port D. So tomorrow we'll continue. Now we'll go for question answers. All programs which I discuss here, I will upload on the Google Drive. Don't worry. Immediately after this session, I will upload all programs. Is it possible to program with PIC3 without using the development board? Yes, possible. What you need to do is, put your 40-pin microcontroller on breadboard, and with the help of jumper wires, connect pins of the PIC3 to the appropriate pins of the microcontroller. Let me once again show you. In PIC microcontroller, there are programming pins. Pin number 40 is PGD pin, and pin number 39 on PIC microcontroller is PGC pin. These PGD and PGC pins are multiplexed with RB7 and RB6. So this PGD pin in PIC development board, what I have done is this PGD pin is connected to pin number 40 here. On the lower side of this development board PCB, there are connections, copper traces, and this PGC pin is connected on this board to this pin number 39. So if you don't want to use PIC development board for programming the PIC microcontroller IC, put that IC either in another zip socket or you can directly put it on the breadboard and just connect this PGD wire to pin number 40, PGC wire of PIC kit 3 to pin number 39, VPP pin of PIC kit 3 to the MCLRE pin, VSS pin must be connected to ground, and VDD pin must be connected to VCC pin of PIC microcontroller. So without PIC development board, programming is possible. So with the help of jumper wire, you can connect to the microcontroller port pins. Yes, tomorrow I will discuss about how to use inbuilt simulator available in MPLAB XIDE software. Each assignment to send email. I do not understand. What we are doing is we are sharing our resources like C codes, PDF files through Google Drive, and we have given access to download some of the except video. You can download all resources. Why we should add delay? LCD display cannot respond faster. In the data sheet, required delay is mentioned. If you write commands without sufficient delay, then another command may not be properly written to the LCD display. Therefore, small delay is required after writing commands to the LCD display. At the same time, when you write characters to the LCD display, small delay is required. If you write very fast, LCD display may not accept all those commands, all the characters in the string. So delay is required. Microcontroller can operate faster. LCD delay cannot accept, cannot operate faster. Question from Satika, I do not understand. Where to type this in existing or new? I do not understand this question. Can you write your question once again? Yes, all source codes I will upload today itself on the Google Drive. You can download and you can simulate. You can also go through this code and understand purpose of each and every instruction. Don't worry if you are not able to do it parallelly. Just watch the session, and if possible, write down small comments, and later on download code through Google Drive. Go through the code and try to write code on your own. Just understand the programming logic first. Shubham, am I not audible? There is one comment from participant. I am not audible. Am I clearly audible? Yes or no? Clearly? No, no. Am I audible to participants? Am I audible? Please write in. Yes, I am audible. Then there may be problem with speaker setting of few participants. Why did you put the while loop inside the void main? Let me once again tell you. This while loop is important. If you do not put while loop here, your program counter will keep on changing. And problem is, At other locations in the flash memory, we have not written any instruction. So program counter will keep on incrementing, and as there are no instructions, the by default values will be there in the flash memories. So microcontroller will continuously fetch those default values in the program memory, and nothing will happen. So what we do is, after doing required operation, we must put microcontroller in some kind of never ending loop. That is really must. So never ending loop is always required. So in main program there must be never ending loop. Why we use two different delays? See, with the larger delay, we can generate delay in seconds, and in small delay, we generate delay in few milliseconds. So in LCD display, when we write data, we write one character at a time. We write one command at a time. So after writing one command, we need to add small delay. So for that purpose, I use small delay subroutine. And if I need delay in seconds, especially in LED blinking code, we use delay in seconds. So there we can use delay subroutine, which can give us larger delay. This 5/7 matrix is correct. It is 5/7 matrix. On LCD display, when LED starts displaying the characters, on the background, all pixels are lightly lit. So you can count number of columns there. So 5/7 is correct. Other questions, please. So nibble concept, once again I will discuss tomorrow. What is the time, or should I discuss right now? So nibble is group of 4 bits. So in 8-bit data, there are 2 nibbles. For example, if our data is 0x83, so if I write this data in binary, 8 means 1000 and 3 means 0011. So this 8-bit data we can group into group of 4 bits. So first 4 bits constitutes upper nibble, and last 4 bits are lower nibble. So in 4-bit mode of LCD operation, you must write one nibble at a time, and sequence is, in 4-bit mode of operation, divide your 8-bit data into 2 nibbles and write one nibble at a time, and you must write upper nibble first followed by lower nibble. So in 8-bit mode of operation, if you want to give 0x83 command to the LCD display, first of all you separate the nibble and then you write this nibble to the LCD display. So when you do the ending operation, suppose our value is 1000011. So same I have written here, and then ending with 0x0f. So if I write 0x0f in binary, 0 means 4 zeros and f means 4 ones. So if I do bit by bit ending of 111, ending of 111, ending of 010, ending of 010, so 000, ending of 100. So this is the result. So what we get here? In hexadecimal it becomes 0x03. So when we ended data in the value variable with 0x0f, we got 0x03. That means this hexadecimal 8 digit is removed from the data. So we have obtained here lower nibble, that is 0x03. However, lower nibble is again saved in 8 bits, and we are interested here in last digit. That is last four bits 0011. If we do ANDing operation with 0xF0, what will happen? So let's see, ANDing of our value is same. Now if we do ANDing and 0xF0, so 0xF0 means first four bits are 1111, last four bits are 000. Now do the ANDing operation 100, 10 ending 0, 00, 0, 000. Then here what we get? 000, ending of 1 becomes 1. So if you convert this result, binary result, into hexadecimal form, it will become 0x80. 1000 is 8 and last four zeros are 0. So what we have done here is we have separated out digit 8 from 0x83 data. Our data is 0x83. So digits are separated. But when we write data to the LCD display, we write it on the 4 pins. In LCD display, total 8 pins are there, but in 4-bit mode, we use only 4 pins of the LCD display. And those pins are D4, D5, D6, and D7. Understand? And what we have done is, if you look at the pinout here, we have connected this D3 pin. This D7 pin is connected to RD7. Then this D4 pin of LCD, D6 pin of LCD display is connected to RD6. D5 pin is connected to RD5, and this D4 pin of LCD display is connected to RD4 pin. So only 4 pins of the port D are used, that is RD7, RD6, RD5, RD4. Now while writing data to the LCD display, what should happen is that we must write higher nibble first. Okay, so while writing higher nibble, we must write this data on the which pins? RD7, RD6, RD4, RD5, and RD4. So if I write this nibble in binary form, higher nibble is 1000. So this 1 must be written to RD7, and remaining 3 zeros must be written to RD6, RD5, and RD4. Next time when we write lower nibble, our lower nibble is 0x03. So this 0x03 in binary lower nibble is 0011. So 0 must be written to RD7. This next 0 is RD6, 1 is RD5, and last one is RD4. When you write these bits on the port pins through enable pulse on the enable pin of the LCD display, we latch these bits into the LCD display. Okay. So 4-bit mode of LCD is slightly complicated. 8-bit mode is very easy. In 4-bit mode, we need to separate out nibbles, and at a time we need to write one nibble. So nibble concept I have explained one more time. Any other question? Any other question from you? So questions are over in the chat box. Questions are over. So I am going to end today's session here. Thank you so much.